Hey everybody, Chad here from Lake Area Watersports. I just want to talk to you briefly about what to do at the end of the season if you have a boat you just purchased or if you've owned one for a long time. And the first thing you want to do is dry it out and detail it. Put a little coat of wax on it, make sure it's nice and clean, get the hull cleaned so that when you store your boat, it's clean. I'm cheating a little bit here because this is a brand new boat, so it's easy to detail. But if you don't want to detail your boat, bring it up here. We got a great detail crew and we can help you detail it. This boat's GS22 2022. We put some temporary decals on it for a senior class homecoming parade we're going to do tonight. So we'll take this back off and the Nautique decals will go back on. But if you don't want to detail your boat, bring it to Lake Area Watersports and we can handle that for you. When storing your boat, make sure you store it dry or you let it dry out before you bottle it up or cover it up. Open up your seats. Let the inside compartments air out. Prop your motor cover up a little bit and let the motor compartment dry out. What happens is you get that condensation evaporation effect going on as it warms up during the day, and then it cools back down and it just eats all the metal on your motor mounts and everything. So if you can keep your motor compartment dry when you're storing it, it'll eliminate a lot of corrosion problems. And I'm not talking about just saltwater applications. I'm talking about even freshwater. If you leave your drain plug in and your bilge full of water and your motor cover closed, you're gonna open that motor cover up and find out that it's in much worse shape than it was when you stored it. When you store your boat, make sure you store it dry. Under the seats, inside needs to be dried completely before you put the cover on it. That is the key to keeping your boat and your vinyl looking new when you uncover it for the next season. I'm always talking about how to store your boat with a cover on it, and I'm always talking about keep it dry. This is one tool that we use, that we sell here, that we've had really good success with, and it's an air dryer. And what it does is it keeps the temperature under the boat cover above the dew point temperature, which eliminates the mold and mildew effect, and they really work. So if you're going to store your boat for any length of time in Florida or in a wet environment, use one of these. You plug it in, stick it in the floor, put the cover on it, and it'll keep the moisture and mildew out of your boat. You've been using your boat all summer long. It's bound to have a few bumps, scratches, dings. Get the boat in here and let's see if we can buff those out, do a little gel coat repair. Let's do that during the winter time. Those are jobs that take a little bit longer than other jobs. So we want to do those in the winter time. So bring your boat in, let's do some buffing and polishing, some scratch repair, so your boat looks great for the summer. Perfect time to get things done to your boat that you wanted to get done during the season, but the dealership was backed up, is during the winter time. So use that time to drop your boat off Lake Area Watersports and let's fix some things that may be loose or got broke or had long lead times for parts. Bring your boat in the winter and let's get stuff done. People often wonder what's going to take a beating in the winter time on my boat while it's being stored. Well, if it gets cold enough, the first things that are going to freeze are going to be your water strainer, your heater core, or your transmission core. Okay, in order to prevent that, you have to keep those warm. You can do that in various ways. You can drain the water out of them so that there's no water to freeze, or you can keep it warm in a garage. But those are the three items that are gonna freeze and be damaged first. What about the fuel that sits in your fuel tank during the winter months when you're not using the boat? And a lot of people talk about ethanol and what it does. Well, what ethanol does is it attracts the water molecule for one, so it wicks in moisture, and it goes stale. Ethanol fuel goes stale faster. So your best defense is to run your boat and keep fresh fuel in it. You can do that on a water hose. If you can drop it down and run it around the lake once a month, that would be helpful. But if you can't do all that, when you fill your fuel tank up for storage, you can put a fuel stabilizer in it when you're filling it up. If you read the can on the stabilizer, they often recommend stabilizing it as soon as it comes out of the pump. So make sure you remember that fuel doesn't stay fresh all winter long. The best thing you can do to your boat when you begin to want to use it in the spring is bring it to Lake Area Watersports and let us do an annual service in the spring. Let us find everything we can so that when it leaves here, you guys can have fun in your boat and not worry about it. And then the next visit is going to be just a simple oil change. So remember, annual service. My happiest customers are the ones that bring me their boats before spring, which is between February and March, and we get all that done, and then I don't see them again until they're coming back in for an oil change, or they need to buy a new wakeboard or wake surfer out of the pro shop.